Hey guys, what is up? Alex Scott here with Consordini.com coming at you with another super cool studio gear review. Today we are taking a look at an incredibly cool pair of speakers. These are the PreSonus Eris E44 MTM studio monitors. Now, as you guys may have seen on the channel, if you've seen some of my other videos, you guys will probably know that I currently mix on a pair of Dyne Audio LYD 48s. And I love them. But before I was able to get those Dyne Audios, I mixed everything on these guys. This is my old pair. They are now in the care of my good friend and assistant producer, Callum Bear. He works here at the studio with me. He's a fantastic producer, great guitar player. And when he kind of got on board with the studio, I went ahead and passed them along to him. So he's been using them ever since. But they're really, really great quality monitors for the price. When I listen to them alongside my Dyne Audios, which I'm now super used to and are, of course, you know, in a class that's a tier 2 above these guys I think retail for something like $300, $400, $500, somewhere in there for the pair. My Dyne Audios retail for over $2,000 for the pair. Definitely a different kind of market space. So, you know, the Dyne Audios are incredible speakers and they definitely outclass these guys. But that is not to say that these speakers don't sound good. They really do. Again, especially for the price, they have some great features. And if you're looking for kind of a beginner or more basic intro into maybe your first pair of studio monitors or your first pair of series studio monitors, I think these are going to be a really great option for you. And, you know, not only because they sound great, but they do have some very, very cool features when it comes to their design. So the first thing that you'll notice that sets these apart from a lot of these kind of more beginner priced studio monitors is that we have 3 independent drivers or speakers in these. We have 2 4-inch mid and low drivers, and then a 1-inch tweeter. And you can see that the left and right units, they kind of mirror each other so that if you have them oriented vertically like this, your tweeters are going to be on the outside, if these were spaced out. And that's very, very cool for this vertical orientation because it pushes your tweeters a little bit further to the outside of your stereo field. So that can help a lot with imaging. Now, we have these 2 4-inch drivers, and the advantage here is that you get a lot more bass response out of these speakers despite their much smaller size. You actually get kind of the effective working range of an 8-inch woofer because you have these 2 4-inch drivers working in conjunction. They kind of team up and become something like an 8-inch woofer. But if you guys have heard speakers with 8-inch drivers in them, they can tend to be just a little bit lacking in the mid-range detail. Like my Dyne Audios, they're 3-ways, but the main woofers are 8-inch woofers, and they have 4-inch mid-range drivers that handle specifically mid-range. But a lot of speakers, like M-Audio BX8s, that kind of a thing, that have those full-size kind of 8-inch woofers, you do tend to lose a little bit of mid-definition. Because these are 2 separate 4s, you kind of retain some of that mid-range, which is really, really nice, but then you also get the low-frequency extension similar to that of an 8-inch woofer. So very, very cool. Another thing that I really, really like about these speakers is that they are designed to be oriented either vertically or horizontally. You can mount them up like this. This is actually how I use them. And you get some really nice stereo imaging effects by doing it this way as well because, again, it's pushing parts of the speaker a little bit further to the outside of your listening field, and so that's going to give you a bit more width in terms of your stereo image. They're super compact. They are not too terribly heavy. They're only slightly bigger than something like a KRK Rocket 5 or an M-Audio BX5A, something like that. They're just going to be a little bit taller, but I think they may actually even be a little bit shallower as well in terms of depth. Now, in terms of our back panel, we have some great options here. PreSonus has implemented this kind of acoustic space tech, which is DSP, and you have this whole section right here labeled acoustic tuning, where you can control low cutoff. So if in case you're using it with a subwoofer, you can cut off at 80 or 100 hertz. Very, very handy. You have some mid attenuation and some high attenuation. And then you also have this acoustic space switch, and you can read more about it on their website or in the manual, but this is basically tuning for where you have it placed in your room. So if you have it really close to a wall, or maybe your room acoustics are not as optimal as they could be, you can use this acoustic space feature to compensate for that a little bit. So a lot of really good tone sculpting options. The DSP in it sounds great. I never heard any phasing weirdness or anything like that. And then we have unbalanced RCA, we have balanced TRS, and then of course balanced XLR, power, pretty typical stuff. But definitely a professional level of kind of spec on the back, in terms of features. This acoustic space thing is great. In my old mix room, before I was really full-time as a studio professional a number of years ago, I did have these pretty close to a wall, and I did notice a marked difference using that acoustic space. It does help to alleviate some of the issues that you get when you have your speakers right up against a wall. But yeah, just kind of a quick overview for you guys. Obviously, I can't really plug them in and play anything for you. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But, again, they really do sound quite good. Are they on the level of something like a Dynaudio or a Focal or an ATC or, some of these really high-end speakers? No. I find their particular areas of lacking to be kind of the upper mids and the lower highs. They have really good, extreme top-end extension, but just that kind of sibilant range up in 4 to 7K up to 10K is just a bit murky. Also, on their own, the bass is not massive. The dual 4s do go a long way to provide that low end of an 8-inch woofer, but I was using these with the, I think it's the Temblor 10-inch subwoofer, and that helped a ton. So if you guys are mixing really bass-heavy styles of music, something like hip-hop or EDM, stuff like that, stuff where you really want a lot of definition and punch in the low end, they might not be your best choice unless you are going to use them with a sub. Then they're going to be totally fine. But for maybe more classic rock, blues, country, more those styles of music, or acoustic, certainly anything like that, singer-songwriter stuff, these would be really, really great because they do have good mid-range definition. And like I said, good real top-end extension. They are really, really good sounding speakers overall, especially the price. And they look great. That's what initially turned me onto them, was just the overall kind of aesthetic of them with the MTM design. They look real slick, these PreSonus logos, which you can actually turn, kind of a cool feature. These rotate around in case you do want to orient them horizontally. But those light up blue, which looks real nice. Very well built. They're robust. Like I said, I got these, I want to say 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago. I got them right when they came out. And then when I went, truly full-time in the studio, I upgraded to the Dynes 2 or 3 years ago, and then these went on to Callum, and he's loved them ever since. So, yeah, there you go. PreSonus Eris E44 MTM studio monitors. You can purchase these on Amazon. We'll have a link in the description down below. If you follow that link and you do decide you want to pick a pair up, that also helps out the channel a little bit, so we'd really appreciate that. But I am really curious, what do you guys think of these speakers, or just any of the PreSonus monitors in general? These do have a big brother pair, the E66, which are 6-inch woofers. I have not had a chance to hear those. I would imagine they're probably pretty similar, but maybe they have a little bit more low end. Those might be a good option for any of you doing EDM type stuff, bass heavy stuff. But yeah, whatever your thoughts may be about these speakers or any other PreSonus monitors, maybe you have other monitors that you prefer more, leave any thoughts you have down in the comments below. We always appreciate hearing from you guys. Again, my name is Alex Scott with Consordini.com. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one.